Hello, I'm Andrew Hales, and this is the scariest moment of my life. It was the weed trip I had when I was 16. I kind of touched on this a little bit when I was in my complete drug history, but yeah, I was with my family up in upstate New York. I was 16 years old. I brought some weed with me, and I would sneak off and smoke and then come back and, water ski or whatever, and then, but this one night I took too much or something, and when I got back, I started reading a book. It was like 1 a.m. and everyone was asleep in the cabin, and I just started reading a book. And then I got tired, and so I turned off the light and I tried to fall asleep. And then my mind just started racing like more and more and more and more, and it like just fell down the rabbit hole, and I just started panicking, and I got up, and my sister was still awake, and I was like, "Hey, I'm having like, I think I took too much weed or something. I don't know, something's happening," And she was like, "Okay, what do you want me to do?" And I was like, "I don't know. I think I need to go to the ER or something." It was scary because at that point, it wasn't even. A lot of people get paranoid about like cops and stuff. I've never gotten paranoid about that. It's more like a deep spiritual, like my soul's being yanked out and I'll be in eternal torment in some weird spiritual inferno place. I don't know. And so, yeah, just like the worst anxiety high induced paranoia ever. And it felt like someone was like, it was like at points there was like just like these sharp brain zaps even too, like just and it was so bad. So that lasted like 4 hours. I was like traumatized. I walked around with my sister and I was like, "Yeah, I'm probably never gonna smoke again after this. Oh my gosh." She's like, "Yeah, good." She didn't, she just didn't know what to do. She just walked. We just went on a walk together. But I remember falling asleep, trying to fall asleep, watching like Oprah. There was like some Oprah DVDs, and I started watching those around like 4 a.m. And then I eventually fell asleep. But then what's worse is the next morning, I could still kind of feel like I had like PTSD from it or something. I still felt like shit, which was so strange because it's weed, and weed's like supposed to never, have any kind of effects afterward, and like weed's supposed to never have like any kind of hangover and all this stuff, and it's just so weird. And so I was like still like really, really anxious. So I wrote down like this entry in my journal. I don't think I have it anymore, but I think I lost it. But yeah, and then for the next 3 weeks, I remember just being totally like scared out of my mind, like for my spiritual. It was like a weird spiritual like terror. I remember even I had already started like just like non-believing, like started like not believing in the church. But I remember like I asked my dad for a blessing, which is like they lay their hands on your head and they like like it was like I felt like I was possessed or something was like totally wrong. It was really bad, and that was really dramatic. I remember my dad did that in front of my whole family. I started crying, and my sisters started crying. It was like so dramatic. Yeah, so then like 3 weeks after, 3 weeks afterward, I just I started hanging out with my friends, and you know what? And I think about it sometimes. Some things that I feel like might have caused it, and this one's really off, but I used a match, I remember, and something maybe to do with the chemicals in the matches, but that's still pretty out there. Another thing is because I was in the woods with my family. You're never supposed to. It's your environment. It plays a huge part in when you smoke weed and who you're with. And because I was like in a hiding state, hiding it from my family, from my parents, that definitely isn't a good place to start when you start smoking. Another theory is I remember that's when the book The Secret came out, like about the law of attraction and our thoughts create things and all this stuff. And I started reading that day, I remember, and it was like such a mind fuck. I remember like, oh shit, so like, shit, don't think about that, and all this stuff. And that could have caused it too. It was around 2006. But yeah, so that's the scariest moment of my life. Thanks for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe. Thank you.